You are live. I am live. Am I really, though? Because sure doesn't look like it here. I don't even think I need this, though. Oh my. I don't know what to do, guys. I bet I'm in the wrong stream. Huh, I am live. Wally Wednesday meets. Oh, there it is right there. Oh my. Okay. I apparently was in my own wrong channel. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I figured it out. I got it working. Okay. So we're on the right track anyway. I need to reach over to the side and pull out some pens. Those and those. And these. I think I'll do the black ones. Although I do the black ones way too often. I was kind of thinking of going vintagey and doing the sepia ones, but I don't think they're going to match what I'm doing very well. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Actually, I'll pull them out. Maybe we'll do both. I bet you wish I would explain what the heck I'm talking about. Because right now I'm just babbling. I'm babbling. I have lost a whole set of pens. I wonder where this set of pens is. Oh, it's right next to me. That way instead of that way. I am ink colored. I had a fight with my printer just a little while ago. I wasn't able to get the gosh darn thing running properly. Okay, so for today's project. Wait, what? Oh, hi, Becky. Hi, Amy. Hi, Darcy. For today's show, I am changing things up a bit because there is something I actually need and I'm not ready for it. I don't have it yet, but I need it very soon. That's what I'm trying to say. So for today's doodle, I am only pulling out pens and markers. No charcoals, no shading like that, no nothing. I am also pulling out very lightweight vellum. Tracing paper would also work for what I'm going to do today. And I need a couple more pieces, so let me reach behind me a sec and pull out a few of those. And I'll show you what I've got on my board here and what we're starting with. So tomorrow is May 1st. I mean, you probably already knew that. For my YouTube group, my art group, How Do You Do, which 2 of the 4 of you watching are in, guys. May Masterboard Month. It's Masterboard Month. But we are also going to be answering a bunch of questions so you can get to know all the artists in my group better. So I made a list of questions. Well, I didn't make the list. We all made the list, but I printed it for myself. I have this. The vellum, I have a piece of paper that I can't seem to separate. That's just plain paper. That's just plain paper. I don't know why I have those. Maybe practice sheets. There's my list of questions. Don't peek. But I also have this. This is a freebie from Ava at Bohemian Crafting. She also has the versions of this that she sells, but this is her freebie. And I printed it twice. Once I left clean and lovely looking, and one I have turned quite grungy. Look at all the muck. And with these two template pages, plus what we're going to do tonight on this vellum, I'm going to add this. Darcy, you will recognize this. Whoops, I need that. So, everybody, I made some small kits out of a variety of artistic papers that Darcy made. Darcy, right there, the one in chat with you guys. She made a whole bunch of papers, and you know, sometimes we just like making them more than we could possibly ever use. So I have a bunch of Darcy papers, and I'm selling them on our every first and third Tuesday of the month sale. And I made some kits out of them, put together ones that match, put together theme kind of feel ideas. So maybe people would know kind of an idea what to do with them. But if they don't, I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration for my first video. And I already made it, and I accidentally lost it because I rebooted my computer when I wasn't done. So, whatever. Anyway, so as soon as we're done with our live tonight and getting ready the pieces I need, I'm going to jump right into making a video for May 1st, and you'll see it tomorrow morning or tonight at midnight, whichever, you know, whichever floats. Anywho, here's what I did. I took this painty blue-green, and this has much more distinct green with browns. I don't know why I decided these go together, but they do, I swear. These two don't particularly show it that well yet, but here it starts to come together more because this green is a brighter green than this green, but it has the turquoise too, and we're heading toward this color. Then I have this one, which I just love, but it's got the very turquoisey color but a yellowish background, but it also has this copper and brownie stuff in it, which this has. So we're starting to get pieces that jive together pretty well. Then I have this puppy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 5. I swear I had 6 in this pile. Okay, I may be missing a thing. Hang on, let me look quick right here. No, right here. I'm telling you that the catastrophe with my printer has everything off kilter. I'll go look for it some more later. But I swear there was another paper, because my recommendation, if you're going to chop up papers such as these, or any really, to make a masterboard, you should have 6. That is my recommendation. So I was going to try out my own recommendation and see if I still agreed. In any case, what I need with this is stuff like this. So I have doodled and fussy cut some stuff to put on whatever I make with the masterboard. But I need more. Lots more, because I'm planning on demonstrating all kinds of different stuff, and then I hope to end up with a product that will either turn into a journal, or I will give away or sell or something, right? So what that means for today's doodle session is I have pulled out my doodle book. Here's the book. This is the master book, guys, and it's not even sort of close to full. I know it's a mixed media book. I should be using it much for something much more than just doodling in, but here we are. I've divided it into sections, and I've started filling the sections with different kinds of doodles that I can repeat. What stencil is on the aqua paper? Oh my, I'm sorry. I should have looked up. Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize that, Becky, but you did say that before, that you do your own live things on Wednesdays. That's why we don't see you. So I'm extra glad to have you here. I'm thinking you're talking about this one. What stencil is this? I have no clue. I didn't make this. I don't own this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is this one from PM Artist Studio? Do you recognize it? Oh, the sweater texture. Oh, that's okay. It's the sweater texture one. Thank you, Darcy. I appreciate that, bunches. You feel free to throw those little tidbits in anytime you want, because I'm not necessarily going to know. And even if I knew at one time, I'm likely to not remember. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm thinking we're going to go through my master doodle journal and find things that maybe we've already done, but maybe we haven't. And maybe we'll refine some things or learn some new things. Who knows? But I'm going to put it up. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Hey, sit, stay. I'm going to put it up ahead of me so that I can see it clearly while I'm doing stuff. And the very first thing I kind of love. So what can I do here? I'm going to try just a tea-dyed paper under one sheet of vellum. Just to give, just so maybe we can see this white, because I don't think this is going to show up great. But what I want to do is make a feather out of these two pens and the white pen. And this is something we've never done on Doodle Day. Okay. It is important, Becky, to know the stencils and the designers, especially if more people want it. Absolutely. Amy, I recommend that you pull out a pencil and a paper and you follow my directions. You can give me feedback. If my directions work for you, yay. If they don't, I'm sorry, I will refine my teaching skills. But I would highly encourage you to join in. If you have trouble drawing stick people, this is the place for you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do to get my fancy feathery kind of thing is draw the center for it. And I want it white because I'm not sure I want it to really show up. So I'm going to get my white pen working, and I'm just going to draw a little bit of a curve. Not even too much, right? Just a straight-ish line. Maybe it's tipping a little. And then I'm going to mostly follow that line. At the very end of this, I only want to end up slightly away from where I started. And at this end, I want to end up with a point. So I'll put this right back where I picked it up from. and follow down super close. Too close, apparently, because I didn't actually draw anything. There we go. There we go. It is not as neat and tidy as I'd like it to be, but I don't think that's going to matter in the end. Okay, my pen is not behaving. I'm making this look much harder than it is. The 2 lines super close to each other is all you need. I wonder if that means that these pens just won't work on vellum very well. That could be. There isn't a lot of catch on vellum. So the reason I got a little bit excited about this feather thing is it's not technically a feather. Although when we get into harder things someday, like maybe in the fall, I'll do one of the harder feathers. They're a challenge for me, but this one is on the silly side, and it's supposed to be. So all you do is pick a spot to start, and I'll just pick this spot right here. And from your starting spot, do a little wiggle to the side, and then put a circle at the end of it. That's it. That's all we're going to do to make this crazy, cool feather thing. What you want to do, now I'll pick another starting spot, and what you want to do is switch directions. I put a little droop in that one. I think I'll put a much bigger, there's another one. I'll put a much bigger droop in that one and bring it way down there and put a dot at the end. And then a wiggle and a dot, and a wiggle and a dot. Now, while you're doing wiggles and bending them and letting them droop or curve up, whatever your wiggles do, the important part to make it feathery is to get smaller as you come up. So you want this to end up being vaguely triangle-ish. Okay, so by the time I get up here, my wiggle might only be that long. But I'm still going to put a dot on the end. Little tiny wiggles. And then you go down the other side. Or you go up both sides at the same time. Wiggle, 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 dot. Wiggle, wiggle, dot. Wiggle, 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 dot. Yeah. Vellum and gel pens are not getting along great. That's going to be my struggle. You guys do you. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I'm ending up with some patterns in mind that I don't really want, but it's okay. They might get obliterated as things go by. Like this X thingy I made here. Is that super blurry? No, that's just lighting. I can't really see both sides of my flower very well. Okay. So the reason I made them kind of separate like this is because I want to do both colors in my feather. So now I'm going to come in between all the purple bits, and actually I should have a bit more going on in the purple department in a few places. I could always go back and fill in whatever I want, but I'm going to go in with the pink now. If I can get this one working. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to do a couple of things. One, I'm going to start way down on the bottom of my feather and put some of those little, I don't know, feathers have these little feathery bits at the bottom. They just do. So I'm going to create that. Then I'm going to start going in between all of the purples. Maybe. Come on. Cooperate with me, please. 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 I didn't know pens would be my problem tonight. Make sure that you cross things and that things droop and things go up and down. And even though you want things to be vaguely a triangle, you still want variety, so shorter and longer all the way. Okay, I'm going to switch to other pens as soon as I'm done with this feather. I will win the feather battle. This is my feather battle. I do really love this feather, though. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it. I might find other pens and other colors to do some more in there. Fill it in as much or as little as you want to be perfectly honest. Okay. Well, I wonder too. And now I'm going to have to find out if they really do draw on vellum. I might need some pens. That's all I need is more pens. Right? All right. I am going to turn the page and find another doodle for us because I do not want to do ghosts or gnomes or bricks for my project. I'm also not going to do any critters tonight. Oh, okay, I lied. I think just in the name of tradition or fairness or whatever you want to call it, I think I should do a squiggle bird. And I think he should be orange and yellow and red because that is my traditional color scheme for a doodle bird. Squiggle bird? Doodle bird. Whatever we call this bird. All right, so in this case, I usually start with some kind of oval to give me a starting point, a body start, a start to this birdie body. But I don't really want to draw in an oval right now. So what I'm going to do is just take my yellow and do a little dotted oval. Boy, you can't see those at all. You're going to have to trust me. They're there. Hello, Needlecraft Creations. How are you this evening? From those dots, this is another squiggle situation. Something else you can do with simple squiggles. And it's the exact same thing. It's squiggle in an outward direction from your oval and put little circles at the end. So a little bit different technique than we learned before, but this is going to be the same birdie that we learned before. I'm going to go around a second time and do things a little longer, a little more squiggly and wild, because I like my birdie to be wild. And I like them to have extra fluff. What good is a birdie if he's not extra fluffy? I mean, I know some birdies who might be insulted at that, but I'm just saying. Okay. So then I'm going to take my next darker color, which in this case would be my orange, and I'm going to pretend there's an oval inside my previous oval and start inset from that, from the yellow. So I'm going to start my orange ones in a bit and squiggle out to the orange and make my dots. Squiggle, squiggle, out to the orange, make a circle. Whoops. Okay, that one's all wonky. Oh, and those went out way too far. I wasn't paying attention at all. These pens are working absolutely fine on vellum. They take a long time to dry though, because I have smudged a great many things. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing with the red, only this time I'm going to start in even further. I'm just going to be filling in this whole birdie body with squiggles and circles. Make sure to put some in that are super short, so you're, you know, even some plain circles, just like some dots, so you're showing that, you know, the floofiness of this birdie faces all directions. Okay, there's my birdie body. I think I will finish him in orange just because yellow is too hard to see. I might traditionally do the rest of his selfness in yellow, but it could be a dandelion. See, you could do a great many things with squiggle dots. Feathers, birdies, dandelions. I didn't leave a lot of room for his legs. This might be a little bit of a strange bird. Or maybe I should make him sitting. Maybe I'll make him a nest. I'll make this a sitting bird. So, you, cat, need to get off of my pens, please. I'm going to do his neck. I'm going to I'm going to make a line for the neck and draw where I want it to go. So there's where I want his neck to go. And then when I get it in place, all I'm going to do is zigzag in and out in one direction. And then in the other direction. Just little curlies in and out, zigzaggy. I'm not even picking up my pen. And then his head is going to be an oval. And I guess he's looking down at something. I don't know what he's looking down at, but there's his head. And there's something on my cutting mat, so it made my pen jump. So now he's got the back end of his head is flat. Poor birdie. And then I'm going to put some little tiny bits of zigzag out the top. Much shorter. That's what I do to join the head to the neck. So, you know, it's not just hanging out there all weird. Okay, so then I'm going to give him I guess I better turn his head a little bit. I'm going to give him an eyeball right here. I typically give my birdies a big, long, funny, pointy beak because I like to. You should give your birdie whatever kind of beak you prefer on your birdie. Okay, and then I'm going to give him some great big curly cues on his head. Because this is not just any old birdie. This is a fancy birdie. And I go over them a few times, right, to make them look floofy too. And then I guess I'll go over his head a bunch of times because I wanna. Then I'm gonna take my white pen and see if it'll be nice enough to give us a little dot in his eye. Yes, it will. Look at that. Lastly, I will take all 3 pens one more time and give him a big fluffy tail. I make his tail very much like his head feathers. So I'm going to basically start in here where, body would be. And take some feather floofiness out the back. And I'm going to do it in all 3 colors. I think I'll do 2 yellow ones. 1 orange one. And a couple of shorter red ones. I don't think I've ever done this before. This is one fancy birdie. And now it doesn't look like a tail anymore because it looks like it's coming out the center of his body. I may not recommend this particular method. You may want to scoot it over butt-wise farther. I will work on it later. Well, hello, Kiki. Good evening. You are not late. You are here precisely at the right time for a Kiki to be here. All right, let's do another funny little birdie just because. I want to do a little blue birdie. And this birdie couldn't be simpler. All you do is draw a circle-ish kind of thing. And then you draw the letter C backwards. Like so. And then you go to from the top of the C, make a curve. And from the bottom of the C, you join the curve. Like so. Then you make a little eyeball. This one I'll make circle, obviously. And then you finish your birdie. What did I do with the orange? I want him to have an orange beak, and he's looking up in the air. I'm not sure what he's looking at, but there must be something up in the tree. I don't think I have very many colors of blue. I even think this blue, which looks sky blue, I think it's actually something more along the lines of teal. And this blue, which looks purple, is actually almost black. But what I want to do is make him some little birdie legs. Just like so. Nothing fancy, right? except I'll put a little weight at the top. He's got chunky thighs, this bird. Is that even a thing? I don't know. But he needs some fancy feathers. We're going to have no plain old boring birdies. So, yeah, see, it's very green. And I bet, and is this going to still just be too purple? It's too black. It's too black. All right, he's just going to be one color because I only have one blue. But I also want him to have fun swirlies out the top of his head because I love that. And he needs a fun tail because I love that too. There we go. Now I have another cute little birdie. I think I might color in his wing, but I don't know. I am going to go around, as you can see. I'm just going around the original drawing, the circle and the wing, because I want them to be heavier. And now that I've done that, now I have to do his tail also, because now all of a sudden his tail is hard to see. There we go. He's a lovely little guy. And I told you we weren't going to do any critters, and then I started doing critters and birdies specifically, and I'm going to show you the very first bird I ever drew. Okay, ready? I start with a scoop and a hump and a point. And then I go in and around and down. This is going to run into my poor other little birdie. And then I do a swoop and a swoop. And then I think I did that for his beak, and I put an eyeball on him. And I did some stuff that I can't recall because I was a little kid. And I don't remember exactly how I designed this part of his head, but I gave him a great big feathery headdress thingy jobber. And some sort of a wing. And a big fancy hang-downy tail. And I used to put little legs on him. And fit him on a branch. That's the very first birdie I ever designed. I think I was like 7. It had to be grade school. It had to be early grade school. Okay. There's my little trip down memory lane. Little get to know your artist for May. Oh my. Oh, Amy, that's exciting. That's so exciting. This one doesn't count. This last birdie I drew. I didn't teach anybody how to draw him, and I am not sure I remember how to draw him. Maybe I should work on that, but he doesn't count. He does. If he turned out wonky, or if you even tried him, there's a reason for that. Because I taught it wrong. Okay, now I'm going to flip through the book for just a second, because I'd like to find... I don't want any viney things. They'll be too hard to cut out. And I don't want anything too floofy, because they'll be too hard to see when I put them on the collaged pieces. Oh my. I'm sorry for hitting the camera. I hope you're not all seasick. All right, let's set that piece aside, actually. It's got too much going on. He was a hump and a swoop. He was a hump. He was He was a hump and a swoop. You do this little thingy jobber, and then you do this other thingy jobber. That's my tried and true teaching method right there, Becky. All right, let's actually try something we can learn together, because I don't think we ever did this one. I don't think we ever did this one on a Doodle with Me show yet. So this could be brand spanking new to everybody. And I think I'm going to do it in that super dark black, purple, blue color. So this one's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, but it's got a great dramatic look and it can be changed up. So I think this is a good one to do. It starts simple enough with a small oval. So just on your paper, wherever you think a small oval should be, put one, like so. So it's a horizontal oval. I should be more precise, shouldn't I? Horizontal ovals, people. I'm glad you're paying attention. I'm glad you're paying attention, Becky. Okay, so today, guys, is a Wine With Me Wednesday meets a Polly Wally Doodle Wednesday. I have this bottle of wine given to me by a viewer. It says Riesling on it, but we have no idea how old this is. It might actually just be vinegar. Don't know. If it is, I'll cook with it. But if it's not vinegar, I'm going to give it a try, and we're going to drink it. Okay, we're not going to drink it because I can't ship any to you. That would be messy and possibly illegal. I mean, I don't have a liquor license. Anywho, I'm going to open it right now because I'm a little tired. Tired? No, I'm going to open it right now because I'm a little thirsty. And if this fits the bill, fine. And if it doesn't, whoops. Oh, the cork. Oh, look at this. The cork broke in the bottle. It broke. I will try again. And I hit the camera again. I'm so sorry, everybody. I want to give you guys the impression of drinking alcohol, so I'm hitting the camera. So you feel like you've had a little? Okay, that might be a little silly, but all right, let's see if I can get any amount of purchase on this thing. No. Oh, wine came out though. That's probably not a good sign, guys. The cork is not coming out of the bottle, but the wine is coming out when I tipped it over, which means there's probably a lot of cork falling into the wine. I wish you could see what I'm doing because right now things are getting awfully ridiculous. I need a camera. I need to be able to use both my cameras so you can watch this silliness instead of just hearing me talk about it. Okay. This is a fail. But in case it was just vinegar, I didn't get my hopes up too much. I've just brought this. Let's see if we can get any bit out. Oh, that's a lot of cork. That's a lot of cork, guys. Here. Oh my. Oh my. I pushed the rest of the cork in the bottle. Oh my. I did. That's exactly what I did, Becky. Okay, I'm gonna wipe the cork out of here. See if I can get less cork going on. Nope. And let's find out if it's vinegar. I should be able to tell by smelling it, shouldn't I? Oh, gin and tonic. There you go. Well, I mean, it sort of smells like vinegar and it sort of smells like wine. I'm just going to have to taste it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tastes like cork. Hmm. Okay, that might definitely be heading toward the vinegar department. I feel much better about the idea of cooking with that than I do drinking. So, let's move on to a diet root beer. Sorry for the interruption. If you have your oval in place, congratulations. You were on your way to a fabulous flower that we will now get back to. Okay, so we're going to start with some little lines, and they're going to start short, and they're going to get longer as we go, and then they're going to get short again. Now, here's what I mean by that. I'm going to start right here in the front toward me. I'm going to put my pen down, and I'm going to draw a little line that curves like that. And I'm going to do a fairly identical curve right there. Okay. Fairly identical isn't even a thing. So I'm using words, right? But you see what I mean. They're not exactly the same, but they're roughly the same length and curve and whatever. They're similar. And I'm going to do the same thing out the top. The ones out the side are longer. So now I'm going to do just under the center of the oval and go out like that. How long doesn't really matter. You could do only a tiny speck longer than your first ones, or you could go out to the edge of the page, which would be ridiculous, but it still holds true. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do 2 more in between this one and the first one on the left, and I'm going to do 2 more in between this one and the first one on the right. And I'm going to get closer and closer to that initial size. Like so. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the top. So I'm slowly shifting angles of my curves. And what I want to do with this next line is make it almost straight out. That one's very straight. But then I'm going to start curving the other way. Like so. Right now, it looks like a very ambitious spider. That's a lot of legs for a spider. But it could be a spider. Okay, so now all we're going to do is what we do in a lot of different flowers that we make. When we start with a base and do the lines out, we're going to join up the lines. So you can do it all kinds of different ways. And I'm going to do a basic curve. Then I'll start from that and curve to the next one. And then from that one, curve to the next one. And I'm going to just do that all the way around. You can see some of my lines don't join up perfectly. Some of them are looking kind of wonky. It doesn't matter just yet. You still just keep going with the program. It all works out in the end. There we go. Lovely. Now, I'm going to go over those lines again and clean them up a little bit. So if your lines ended up wonky looking like mine did, just take your pen or your pencil or whatever you're working with and go over everything and give it some weight. If you give a little weight to your doodles, by going over the lines more than once, you can incorporate any little, divots or parts that didn't join up properly. And then it gives your flower some personality. Okay. Almost done. What do I have left? Just this one? Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's all the way around. Okay. The next part of this flower is really where you get the most variety out of this particular plant. So I'm going to pretend that this first little oval that I made is an opening in the flower, and it goes down. And when you have that in a flower, I mean, think about a whole bunch of different flowers, right? The shapes are, the variety of shapes that you can do is amazing. I'm going to pretend that this is sort of one of those vase kind of flowers. So I'm going to go straight down from one side of the oval and just put a little tiny curve. Just as it's all I'm doing where I start, right? And then I'm going to go to the other side of the oval and go straight down and make an opposite curve. Then I'm going to turn this into a pitcher shaped bulb thingy. Like so. And you saw, if my hand wasn't in the way, that I did not make sure that my lines met up properly. I made a big fat mess, and I just kept going over it a few times until the lines started to join up. And there we go. What a cute little guy. But we're not done. First of all, because let's add a little bit of a character to this flower by doing some uppy bits. This is my words, uppy bits. There could also be some down bits. There could also be some, in here lines. Maybe just a little bit of a decoration. Maybe I'm just going to do this all the way around. A line and a dot in every one. Why? I don't know why. Because that's the first thing that popped in my head. There we go. Lines and dots. But what I really need to do to finish this is to give it a base. So I'm going to start on one side. I'll start over here because I think you can see that better. And swoop inward and down to make a stem. And then do the opposite on the other side, inward and down. And this is where you can make that stem as thin as you want or as thick as you want. I could join these together completely to just make it a line. I can leave it fat, kind of like it is, or I could have made it way fatter than this, way sturdy, right? I'm going to make a bunch of lines in there and not completely fill in the stem, like so. Just because when I do this, when I cut this out and put this on the master board and the collaged items and stuff, I want the design to be able to show through the vellum. The design of the papers underneath, right? I am going to put a great big leaf on this one, though. And I'm just going to do that slight curve that we did earlier. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do it on the bottom as well and join like so. and a big line up the middle. And usually what I do is put another one on the opposite side, and I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to do a second one on the same side. Oh my geez, I'm getting so daring in my old age. There we go. So I'm not coloring these in on purpose, right? Because I really want that whole I want that whole vibe to happen where you can see the painty papers underneath. I am going to color the center in orange though. I don't know why, but I decided the middle of this flower is orange. The inside of this flower. Okay, there we go. Who do we have? Oh, it's a Fred. Hi, Fred. How are you this evening, mister? Oh, Kiki. I didn't even pay attention. Hi, Kiki. Bye, Kiki. Big day tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can do this same flower a little bit of a different way. And this pen looks pink or lavender or something, and I'm not sure what color this is, but it's not pink or lavender. But we'll do the same flower and make it look quite different 2 more times. And this time I'll do it really fast. So if I start with a new oval. Oh, well, it's kind of salmon. I guess that's sort of a pink. It's definitely not lilac, though. So if I start with a new oval, this time I'm going to do lines that are almost all the same length. I'm still going to switch directions for the curve, right? Well, I didn't do a very good job there, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to curvy line join them. Or squiggle line, really. So I'm just squiggling. I mean, this is really kind of a squiggle night, isn't it? So far. Kind of a squiggle. Let me make it darker so it's easier to see. There we go. Now, same sort of concept for this guy, only what if we pretend it's got a very bulbous bottom? So I'm going to go straight down from one side of the oval and just mark it with a little tiny dot. Do the same thing over here. Same as, that's just like before, right? Only this time, instead of making this a vase shape, I'm going to go out and around and make it very circle-y. There we go. And for this one, maybe we got, you know, those lines going into our flower. I guess I won't sit and do details too long because I want to get a little farther. But I did want to show how this flower can be done in different ways. So let me skip that. I'll finish it later on my own time, but let me show you the last way that I do this flower. And let's do it in obnoxiously bright pink. Hot dogs for dinner. You guys want to hear something funny? I've been making only one thing to eat the whole week for 2 weeks now. The first week was tacos. The second week was pasta. This week is going to be hot dog week. If you're interested, I'll get into more about how that works and why I'm doing such a silly thing. But in the meantime, I'm going to draw another flower, another version of this. I'm going to start with an oval again. This one's much more ovally than the other ovals. And the lines are going to get shorter and longer again, just like the beginning, but they're going to curve very little in the front and the back, like so. And they're going to curve quite a bit more on the sides. Something like that. Drama. There's drama in the flower department. And then this, I wonder, I usually just do this one with wiggles too, but let's try something different. What if you bring all these to a point? So this is basically the same as the oval situation, right? You're just not making it as curvy. Duh. I don't even know why I said that. And I just made an extra line I didn't mean to make. How about if we start this one all over? You know why? Because I just did something really weird and I'm not entirely sure how to fix it. Oval. Short. Longer, longer, longer. Nope, that should have been short. That's okay. Longer, shorter. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can pull off the whole doing pointier bits part. Oh, I can see why it threw me though. That's kind of weird doing points in the opposite direction. Okay, in any case, I have now ended up with a vaguely flower-shaped thing. I will strengthen the lines a bit and join them to make them a little less messy, although I'm going to hurry with this and not worry about it. This one probably won't end up getting used because it's kind of a disaster. However, it's going to be just fine to show you the last bit I want to show you on this plant. Okay, the last thing that I do anyway, I'm sure that the varieties are endless, really. But the last thing I do to make this particular flower is still the same way, starting at the one end of the oval, but I'm going to pretend that I'm coming down to a point like way down here. So about like right there. And I'm going to curve into that point. So I'm not going to draw the whole thing because I don't want to draw through my petals, right? But I'm going to pretend my line is going through there. And then when I hit the outside of the petal, I'm going to curve that line like so. I will do the same thing on the opposite side. And I will usually turn my paper upside down for this. Because, what do I always say? Turn your paper, not your hand. So, if I want to end up right here and right here, I can start now on the opposite end and just curve it vaguely toward that spot where it would end up right there. Now you have something much more trumpety. You have more of a trumpet flower. Like so. Like so. All right, that's all I'm going to do with that particular flower. My husband isn't too keen on the idea either, but that should teach him to start giving more opinions, because it's kind of a temper tantrum on my part. Not completely, but I'm tired of trying to make things up and trying to figure out what we're eating. And I want to do prep cooking, but I can't get the men in my house to help me with prep cooking. So, whatever. So I've been cooking on Sunday only and cooking enough to last the whole week. And I made all kinds of great tacos and great pasta dishes and all kinds of stuff. My husband, on the other hand, who is less creative and comes home from a long work day, did a lot of pouting. He has promised to help this weekend, and he has asked for summer favorites. He wants potato salad and tuna salad. So I am going to do a giant Sunday picnic with bratwurst and hot dogs and giant salads and probably some kind of sheet pan dessert thing. And that's all we're getting all week. Make your own dinner and lunch. I made ingredients. Okay, I'm looking for something different. And it's actually in my, that's a little funny. It's actually in my section. Oh, you can't read that. Is that gonna, will it focus? Huh. I don't know how you make this work. Anyway, it actually says something different. Okay, let's do this. Here's something we never did on a doodle day before. Yeah. Michael is very frowny today. My Michael, not you, Fred Michael. Not the Fred Michael, the Michael. He was very whiny today. Okay, let's learn something a little weird. Yep. So, I don't even know if you can call this a flower. But we're going to call it some sort of fantasy sort of plant thing. Start with a circle in any case. My circle looks to be about the size of a dime, maybe a little smaller, but I don't think it really matters. I don't think it matters much. Under this circle, I'm going to draw 5 more circles. So I'm going to start right in the center and do a smaller circle. On either side of that circle, I'm going to do an even smaller circle, but not much. Oh, that one got way too small. Okay, whatever. Anyway, those two are about the same size. These are going to be even smaller. There we go. 1 big circle, 5 graduated circles under the big circle. Everybody with me so far? Easy peasy enough. There are some little tiny triangles between circles that I'm just going to fill in with my color. Now, on top of this, I'm going to turn my circle, my original circle, into something more teardrop-ish. So I'm going to go up from one side to a teardroppy point, and I will go up from the other side to a teardroppy point. And again, go over my lines to make sure that they're all joined and looking, you know, like a whole, like a thing. They're looking like an actual drawing. Okay. Good enough. Like that. Okay, let's see what Michael has to say. Oh my gosh, when you've done the figuring out what in the world the family's going to eat for as many years as I have and some other people I know, it just, I mean, come on. I just can't think of any more stuff. A Friday through Sunday. What is it? 5 a.m. to 5:30? Oh, yeah. That's going to be rough, but I bet it'll be nice when you're doing it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my my smallest circle to the raindrop top. And what I mean by that is I'm going to follow this circle and then kind of jump off of it and then gradually come to the point at the top. And do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to turn this into Drama Central because I like to. And by that, I mean I'm going to do a swoop off each side. Like so. And then I'm going to add another bit of sort of raindrop to it. Like so. And like so. Same as everything else, I will go over the lines again to strengthen them and unify them. I'm going to do another little version of this flower. Maybe this is what the bud looks like when it's just a baby flower. And what I'm going to do here is just start with a small circle. I'm going to put a tall, skinny raindrop on top of it, like so. And then I'm going to put some swirly bits out the top. That's how you know it's my stuff. Lots and lots of little swirly bits. Kind of my signature move. Swirly bits. Two more little tiny pieces to this flower before we're going to do the weirdest part of all. I'm going to make a few more what I think might be flower buds for this one. And the way I'm going to do that is just the swirl part, the swirl and raindrop part, actually. So I'm going to just do a fat little raindrop with a swirl out the top, like so. I'm just going to do a small cluster of 3 of those. Let's see. How can I get... okay, I think I'll put one down here. That one's very ambitious. Okay, is that it? No, we'll do one more variety. Although, This one is not looking great. I'm going to go over this. It would be nice to turn your sleep schedule around for sure. How about Christy? Is she still working there? Does she have the same hours you do? Or is she somewhere else now? Or what's the deal? Okay, I'm going to make these stronger and darker super fast. And then we're pulling out the green. I don't know if you can even call what I'm going to do next the stems, but we're just going to call it the stems. Okay. Let's take, not that green. Let's take the olive green. So this is going to be a very angular plant. And what I mean by that is out of this giant flower, I'm going to do a line straight down and put a circle. And then I'm going to go straight down from that and put a small circle and a little bit bigger circle. And then from this circle, the first green one, I'm going to go over to the side and I'll draw a small circle. And then I'm going to go up a little and draw another circle and then go straight up. So what I'm doing here is making very angular, sort of mechanical stems for these odd little flowers. So for this one, I think I'll go straight out from the little one and make a cluster of 3 tiny ones. And by the way, the joints, where I'm putting the joints and how many circles I'm putting in the joints is totally made up. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is actually not a copy from what's in my book either. So whatever you want, right? This is just a demonstration of how this weird thing works, but yeah, there is no rhyme or reason. So I'm going to go up a little. I think I'm going to do colored in and then connect. And then I think I'll go out some more and do a circle. And let's go angled a little this way. Oh, wait, that one's not got enough room. So maybe a dot and a tiny line. Oh my. And then for this one, I will go straight up, dot, dot, up. There we go. Something like that. Okay. I have lost all composure. That is my weird little, not actually a plant. With all kinds of little different flowers on it. I don't remember where I saw this at first. I believe it's based off of some Zentangle stuff, because just about everything I do is based off of some Zentangle-y stuff. Or some childhood doodles, right? In this vein, I'll get out another clean sheet of vellum. And then we might have to move on. Because time is actually, I'm using up quite a bit of the time. This one is really hard for me, so I don't know how you're going to do this if I'm trying to teach it. But let's find out what happens. So for this one, I'm going to do some sets of letter C's. So if I start this flower with a letter C like so, I'm going to do another letter C connected to this one and right behind it, like so. Then I'm going to turn my paper a little bit and do the exact same thing, hopefully similar size. And I don't know why my brain can't do this. A letter C and then another one behind it, joined it. No, see, I've messed it up already. I'm just going to keep going though. I'm going to keep going. And then we're going to go around, turn the paper again. A letter C and another letter C directly behind it and turn. Like so. Like that. So I ended up with 5 of them, and that's a perfectly good number. I don't know what's going to happen with this wonky fellow right here, but I have a wonky fellow. The next thing I'm going to do is go into my letter C, my first one, and draw a curvy line that hits this spot right here, the ending of my C, and then curves over to the back end of this C pair. So what I mean by that is I'm going to start right about here, and I'm going to curve down to where that C started, and then curve up like so. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Like so. And like so. Excuse me, all my pens are getting in my way. And like so. And whoops, I can't see what I'm doing. I curved too much. And like so. The part I don't remember and I don't do properly is the top. So the top is actually bubbled in the same way. So maybe if I start at this one and do a bubble like so, maybe this is going to turn out right for a change. So now I'm starting at whatever C I can see and doing the same thing. And now this is actually going to be across the top of my flower. Well, I've messed that one up. That's okay. Flowers aren't perfect. Maybe the birdies sat right there. Okay, let's see what we got. I am ever so glad to be an evil companion for you. Anything I can do to help you become a skilled rule breaker. Okay, so now I am coloring in these little spaces at the top and bottom of each C. And if I had done this better than I did, this would start looking like ribbon wrapped around something puffy. And it would look like it was puffing out of the ribbons. But I am not great at this flower. However, if I'm going to do some things with, strange flowers that aren't actually flowers, this one also fits that bill. And this one now goes with lines into the middle. Like so. You can take those all the way in so they meet. You can turn this all dark and color it in so you can't even see this part. I think I did it once with just a spiral in the middle and skipped this part altogether. But the point of this is to make it look like, again, like it's a trumpet flower, because then you go ahead and go here and make that trumpet shape. So now it's some strange poofy flower that has some strange poofy ribbon things on it, and it's a trumpet style flower, so it all comes down the center. And let's just go ahead and do that. So it looks like those lines are coming down inside, or on the trumpet too. That's what I meant to say. That is a strange flower. That's why this section is called something different. Well, hello, Kim. I am glad to have you here. I'm a YouTube influencer. Oh my goodness, evil companions. Okay, so we have a couple of very weird flowers we did today. We had some traditional ones. We had a couple of critters, even though I said I'm not doing critters. I don't know why I'm coloring in my ribbons now, because it completely changes the effect and now doesn't make it look like it's wrapped anymore. So this is not part of the doodle lesson. This is me just doing stuff and not really knowing why. Kind of like it though. Kind of like it. Did you answer me about where Miss Christie is? How she's doing opposite schedules? Oh, okay. All right. Yep, I went and found it. I don't ever get to see her. I don't ever get to talk to her. That's no fair. Alert to change your schedule for me. Okay, so there's my two really weird flowers. There is my one that I'm for sure going to use. I may try to rescue these two and use them in the upcoming project. What else did we do? We did the birdie page. Oh, that's it. That's all we did. Wow. Okay. A great big birdie. My childhood birdie. a little chubby birdie. He's so cute. And a feather thingy. And I think we'll end the show by adding some more stuff to my feather because I am not quite happy with it yet. Kim, we did I did a little bit of a announcement, I guess, telling about the project for my art group for May and how we're going to do master boards. And I need some stuff to create my first video because I accidentally rebooted my computer when my filming wasn't done. So I lost my video for the intro for the month of May. And I need supplies. So instead of a regular doodle class, we went through my doodle book and I found some things that I thought I might want to use. Okay, there's some jazz added to that. What else could we add? Maybe a dark purple. Since I did purple and pink, and now I did a darker pink, maybe if I do a darker purple, we've got some real dimension going on in this feather. Yeah, she's not wrong. For anybody who doubts that barometer has an effect on our health, you're wrong. It totally does. And behavior. I used to be in special ed, and I can tell you, absolutely for sure, no doubts, no questions, barometer affects behaviors. Okay. Oh, look at that. I'm liking that feather much better now. We got a lot more crowded stuff in there and a lot more dimension by putting in the darker and lighter color business. Look at me, though. I'm all different color. I don't know how you just draw things and get such a mess. Oh, really? An all-day Zoom with crafty friends. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a hoot. Yeah, I hope you have a blast. That sounds like so much fun. That sounds like so much fun. If I was feeling more energy, I actually might do an all-day stream for the first day of May, but I'm not. So maybe I'll save an all-day stream for some other time of the month and just do a bunch of masterboards. Because I love them. I'm going to put a dot in this birdie's eye because I think he deserves one. And this birdie's eye because if everybody else gets one, so does him. You want to do crafty zooms? How do we do a crafty zoom? That's true. Every Thursday, really? Oh, yeah, that's right. So how would a crafty Zoom be different than a craft and chat? I mean, other than if you do a craft and chat, I suppose you're live streaming, but you're still hanging out with your friends crafting, right? Tell me about that a little while we're closing up for the night, because I are intrigued. Okay, but we have StreamYard now, right? I'm doing this stream through StreamYard, and I do the sale on the first and third Tuesday of the month through StreamYard, and you can do large groups through StreamYard. I think right now I can only do 6 people, but you can do 10 or 50 or however many. So we could just bring a whole bunch of people, invite a whole bunch of people into a StreamYard and all do it, and then we could make it a live show or not. Yeah, you can talk. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, Kim. Absolutely. So, Kim, if I try it, Darcy and Becky and Kim, do you want to try it with me and see if we can figure out how to pull it off? I don't mean right now, right? I could just set up a ventrilo and get the keybinds going. Absolutely. Oh, Fred. Oh, talk about a throwback. Okay. Yeah, let's give it a try. Absolutely. And let's wait till after this weekend for sure, because I happen to know that some things are going on for folks and they might require some rest time. Thursday is obviously out for you. Yep. Maybe we just make it on a Wednesday, right? Well, then Becky can't. Never mind. I'll find a different day. I'll find a different time. Um, we could always do a test on Wednesdays though. And make sure that we figure out how it works. But yeah, we can totally do it. Any evening besides Wednesday or Friday. So not Wednesday, Friday, or Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And you're on the West Coast, so time of day. We'll work it out, guys. We'll work it out. Monday would be good. Monday might be good. Second Tuesday of the month between 2 and 3 a.m. Perfect, Fred. Absolutely perfect. All right. Monday is a decent day. I don't want to say yes to this Monday. I happen to know that this Monday might be tricky. If it's not tricky and we're all like sitting around hanging out, maybe I'll say, hey, guess what? Today's fine. Let's do it. So maybe it'll be a spur of the moment thing. But otherwise, let's aim for the following Monday. So it will either be the 5th or the 12th of May. Goodness sakes, I got a lot going on this month. Okay. Okay. How's that, guys? Sound good? Next Tuesday is the first Tuesday. Are you ready? Do you have a new advertisement for us? We're going to have another live sale. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I know, Fred. We do have to have some time to catch up. And I'm not sure how or when or where, but we can get on Discord. I can pull you into my StreamYard. Okay, sounds good. Fred, you contact me anytime you have time to sit and chat. Maybe after you've gotten used to your new schedule. That's going to be rough. All right. In any case, I think we're going to call it done for the night. Monday the 12th, my calendar is clear. Awesome. Excellent. You might have a lot of free time. You can come visit Minnesota and see how you like it here. For future reference, in case that move becomes a thing. Just run on up. It'll be fine. I want to know what you're doing in school. I want to know when you're graduating. I want to know, I don't know. I want to know a lot of things. Kim, you should run to Minnesota? Okay, come on over. Graduation is this summer. How exciting. By the way, you guys don't know Fred like I do. I've known Fred for a ridiculously long number of years, a strictly online, mostly gaming friendship, and Fred is going to be graduating engineering college. He's been on quite a journey. No, his name is Michael. I do live a little bit near Prince's house. I mean, it is like probably 20 minutes away, but it's right over there. Just like everybody on YouTube, people in the gaming world also have a great many names. And Michael has been Fred, short for Fred Widget, for a very long time. No inside joke. It was just his character, Fred Widget. And I love that name. And I said, is it okay if I call you Fred instead of Michael? And he said, yes. And so I renamed him. I'm not sure how his mom feels about that, but he's been Fred forever. He is Fred. And it will probably never change because there are a couple of other long-term gaming friends who will forever be their gaming name. Your mom calls you Fred from time to time. Oh, we are neighbors, Amy. We are neighbors. Minnesota's a lovely place. Iowa's a lovely place. This particular part of the country is just gorgeous. Kim and Fred, you should both come. In fact, they said we should have a crafting session here. But I don't have a big venue. So you'd have to stay in the hotel over there. And then you could come to my house and we could all craft. Oh, well. Alrighty, I gotta run. I'm gonna go cut out all of the stuff that we made, and I am going to film a video that's actually gonna be up in. It'll be up in 3 hours. Neighbors in spirit, Fred. Forever. By the way, Fred, we are gonna start a new modded Minecraft server. It is a for real thing now. We're gonna play it on. We're gonna play what is the world is it called? Create ultimate something. I'll let you know when it happens. Good night, everybody. Oh, sure. Sorry. Good night, everybody. I will certainly let you know. Good night, folks.